to help connect you with the mission and the work and also how you might be involved. So right now, I would like to bring up the man behind a lot of the energy that you're feeling here this morning, because he has a lot of energy himself. CEO of Little Red Door, Fred Duncan. Fred, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Eric always slips some very complimentary thing about me into her remarks that I'm not sure are there. So that's probably a good number two, right? That he's always making the guy in charge feel more important than he might be. So thanks, Eric. I appreciate that. Thank you to all of you for coming this morning. You know, this is, believe it or not, the 5th time that I've had the privilege of getting to stand before this group and talk about the Little Red Door and the work that we do in the Indianapolis community. When we started on this journey 5 years ago, we had 25 tables. This morning, there are 93 tables here this morning. And every year, I am humbled and inspired that so many of you are so willing to help us as we continue to do our work. And I know there have been a lot of thank yous this morning, but there's one particular group that really helps us not just be successful in this event, but helps us be successful overall. You know, lots of you have heard the stats that we've doubled the number of people that we've served in the last 5 years, that we've increased our budget by about 50% in the last 4 years. And much of that credit goes to our board of directors. So I want to take just a second and ask our current board of directors, don't applaud yet, our current board of directors, so wonderfully led by Sean Porkin, to stand up. So I know you're out there. I can see all of you make eye contact with you. Yes, I'm going to make you stand. Now, wait, hang on, because I want our former board members, because there are a bunch of you in the room too, to stand up as well. So can I have our former board members stand also to join this group? Because it's really a long arc effort that we've gone through in getting to this place. So I hope that each of you knows how much I appreciate your hard work, your dedication, and how really delighted I am to get to spend time with you. So thank you very much. There's a lot of talk right now in the nonprofit sector about outcomes. I hear it all the time, outcomes, that we should be outcomes driven. And I would completely agree with that statement. So if I think about what kind of outcome we're looking for when we talk about the Little Red Doors work, I suppose we're talking about survivorship. Our goal, if we think of it in that way, is to reduce the incidence rate of cancer, to improve people's chances of getting through cancer and becoming a survivor, and to reduce the reoccurrence rate. And those of you who know us well know that we are obsessed with data. We are obsessed with data. We track everything. We know how many trips we made. We know where people are going. We know how much it's going to cost us when any person enters that program. We know what the best way is to take them. Do they need a gas card, a cab voucher? Do they need an ambulance ride? What do they need? And through the tracking of that data, we've been able to go from 4,000 trips 4 years ago to almost 10,000 trips this year. When we screen people, almost 2,800 people this year, we know exactly where to send them. We know where we get the best value for our dollar. We know where they are in the process. We know when they need to be followed up with, and we know how to move them on to the next step. We're really working on the outcome of survivorship. But you know, we work on another outcome at the Little Red Door that currently I hear my peers be a little bit beaten down about. The most important outcome that we work on at Little Red Door is the charitable act of kindness. I hear my peers say their donors don't want to hear about charity. They only want to hear about outcomes. And you know what I know? I know that those folks never met any of you, because I've never had any of you say to me that you want us to work on something besides making a person's journey better. 50% of the people who are diagnosed with cancer this year will not survive 5 years. Cancer is still a disease that carries an enormously high mortality rate. Depending upon the cancer type, your odds are even worse. We don't send a kid with cancer to camp because we think it's going to improve their outcome for survivorship. There are studies that suggest that it might, but that's not why we send a kid with cancer to camp. We send a kid with cancer to camp to have a great experience. So they say to us, I look forward to camp 51 weeks of the year. It's my second Christmas. It's the only place I go where people don't make fun of me. We don't put a woman in the boutique and give her a wig because we really think it's going to increase her outcomes for survivorship. We do it because it makes her feel better. And she leaves our office standing a little taller and with a bigger smile on her face. It's the same thing with breast forms. It's the same thing with the bras we distribute. It's really and truly much of what we do in the navigation program. Yes, we fielded almost 50,000 calls last year trying to arrange things for our clients that are out there. But if you ask our clients what the most important thing they got from that interaction for us, they're going to tell you it was a friendly voice, to listen to them, to be sympathetic to them, and to help them through their journey. The charitable act of human kindness. We should not ever back up from the notion that it's okay for us to help our friends and neighbors who are in a bad spot get through and make their lives more comfortable. This little piece of wisdom was kind of brought back to me in an odd way. You know, sometimes you get wisdom and inspiration from very odd places. And a few months ago, I was flipping through the TV channels and I ran across the old movie, A Streetcar Named Desire. And for you film buffs in the room, it was the 1984 Anne Margaret version, not the 1951 Vivian Leigh version. But at the end of Tennessee Williams' great play, as Blanche is being taken away, she looks up at the doctor and says, I have always depended upon the kindness of strangers. What a really powerful thought. When people call our agency for help, they're calling a stranger. Our program team doesn't remain strangers very long. They become friends and colleagues and almost family members. But I will almost always be a stranger to the people who call our agency. And so will you. We together are the strangers upon whom the people who call us depend upon for kindness. And the thing that I am the most grateful for this morning is that I have you as my friends in this journey, and that you are willing to invest with me your time and your energy and your kindness in helping a person who is in need. If you're a waitress making $24,000 a year with 2 kids and suddenly you're diagnosed with cancer, you're in a really tough spot, and you need someone to extend their hand in kindness. That's what we do at the agency. In many ways, that's more important than taking folks to treatment to get them to survivorship. It is to improve their journey. You're about to hear from several of our clients, both past and present, whom I think will tell this story very eloquently. But I do want to leave you with that idea, and I do want to leave you with saying thank you. Thank you that when my colleagues say to me, my donors only want to hear about what problem I've identified and solved, I think, that's not my folks. My folks want me to help people. They want me to get them to survivorship if we can, but they want us to be kind to them and make their journey better if that's the only thing that we can do for them. So thank you very much for coming this morning. Thank you very much for being that person, and thank you for being my